So here I got the 3-day chart for SINT Technologies, 5-minute candles. So it's pretty much trading from like 76 to 80 cents, pretty sideways. Popped all the way up and formed double tops around 310, 311. And then went on a little downtrend here and then gapped down today on Tuesday. And then slowly formed a little bottom and did a little uptrend. So let's go over some of the fundamentals and the catalysts and some of the support levels and whatnot. So first of all, let's look at the 10Q, which was fortunately just a month ago. So there was 11.8 million shares as of May 11th, right? So that's worth noting. 11.8 million. It's also worth noting, let's check this out. I mean, the revenue is $207,000. This is a ridiculously small company. On the positive note, it doubled from the previous in 2019, but I mean, look how much they're not making money. So long term, I'm not saying this is investment. This is definitely a momentum day trade type of play. Unprofitable penny stock, but low flow, 11.8 million shares as of last month, right? So what happened is they dropped a PR at one of the weirdest times I've ever seen. It was on a Saturday night, and it says, an original equipment manufacturer, ceramic company focused on silicone nitride and its applications, today announced that in a controlled laboratory study, the SARS-CoV-2 virus was inactivated when exposed to SINT's silicone nitride powder, and the company expects to share additional data soon when the findings are published in a rapid reveal forum. So it's interesting, it becomes a COVID play out of nowhere with the low float, right? And they drop it on a Saturday night, so everyone knew on Monday morning this was probably going to be the hot one. And as we saw, it jump to the 311, 310-ish area. So it's also worth noting that here they are pretty much teasing us, saying they're going to drop more information, right? The preliminary results are encouraging, said. So here this was more teases. So, and sure enough, in penny stock fashion, here they dropped this Tuesday morning on June 23rd. So they do an offering at $1.50, and they're gonna do 3.7 million shares, right? So that's roughly around 30% of the outstanding shares that were already out there, as of the last 10Q said. So it's worth noting today, it closed at 28.8% down. So that's why it's pretty much down around 30%, because that's the dilution rate. And so if you take that 11.8 and you add the 3.7, so fully diluted, it'd be a 15.5 million shares. That's still relatively low. But remember the revenues. So this is one of those plays that's not a long-term investment unless you think they're going to develop some big thing and bring it that's going to completely change their revenue and justify, $15 million shares. 15.5 million shares outstanding after this offering, and if it's priced at $1.40, you're saying the company's worth, was that like $21 million? Well, so maybe that's fair, but how much upside if it starts going up back to that 3 range? Is it worth the 45 million market cap? Possibly. I don't know. But it's worth noting it pretty much closed right on the VWAP, which was about 144 today. So as soon as that offering hit, it dropped from pretty much this like 172 support level, and eventually hit around 132ish, and then formed a slight uptrend. Couldn't get over the V-wrap, but did ride the 50 SMA, right? So that first point I noticed right here, obviously the 150, it's a psychological barrier. So I will be looking to I'm not gonna hold these overnight. That I know that news could come anytime, but I'll be watching for it. But say tomorrow the news isn't out, I'll be looking for a load at that 132ish area. If it's not underneath it, and I'll be looking to pretty much trade to my first price target will be the 144 that it had so much trouble right here getting over. So I'll be looking for the 132 load, and I'll try to sell it at 144, and I'll try to rinse and repeat. And if it can break 144, I'll put at 150. I'll be trying to sell at 150, and then from there, if it can break, the next price target I'll be looking for will be about 170, 172. Right. Now let's look on a farther basis for my next ones. This is the expected to go into this channel. If it could hold this uptrend right here, I'll be looking for it to test this line. But yeah, the 172, which is right here, and then after that it will be about so let's see. So after the 172 price target around here, it's gonna be 190, $2, $220, $240, then $250, and then my last one would be $265. And say that 132 that was the pretty much the bottom of today on the 23rd breaks, there's gonna be no support for recently. We have to go all the way back for the full year, and this is what we're dealing with today. This support right here around 140. Once we broke under it, we couldn't really get over it, and when we did, it didn't last long. So let me do everything right here. So this was previous support, now it's acting as resistance. But I think we'll build up probably over it and stay on it, and then this resistance right here will become support eventually. Yeah, there's gonna be, see, this is what we're seeing right here. It's perfect example of previous resistance. Look at this. You draw a line on the high here, right here, here, and here, and look just what happened today. Exactly here. That's crazy. So people have been bag holding this since February. That's wild. And last October, last September, someone has been in love with a penny stock. You do not want to be holding this from here to here and here, waiting to get out here. Holy shit. That's wild. That's like 4 months. So those are my price targets, and underneath the 132, if it breaks, I'll be looking for $1. Obviously, I'll go probably at 125 after that. So if the 132 broke, I'll probably have a stop loss at like 129, And then I'll be watching, even though it's low, it's only 4 cents lower. I'll be seeing how it reacts to the 125. And this 50 SMA at 120, so probably 120. I wouldn't load at 125. I'll wait for the 120. See how it might hold at the 125, but I'm not gonna rush it. So I'll see. If it breaks 132, I'll put in a buy limit at like 120, and if it doesn't hit, I won't chase it unless it recoups the 132 and holds for a while. But until then, I'll be looking for underneath that, the 120 breaks, I'll be looking for the $1 test. And if that doesn't look good, right here, it's a perfect one, around 88 cents. So if 132 doesn't load, I'll take my loss at 129, put my buy limit about 120 right here on the 200 SMA. If that breaks on some sort of type of panic, I'll try to load on the 1 or the 88. But I think this one has so much momentum. I mean, look at this. This is insane. The previous high volume was around 20 million on 3 days. I mean, you can see this was spiked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times bigly this year. So this is the former runner where people are more prone to chase and have FOMO because they've seen what it's done before. Plus it's a low float, so everyone knows how fast it moves. But what I was saying was, look, previous highs was 20 million in volume or around there. Yesterday, on Monday, on the June 22nd, 142 million shares traded. And you got to remember, at that time there was only the 11.8, so it got rotated like 11, 12 times the shares. The outstanding shares could have been rotated 12 times. You know what I'm saying? So who knows where this is gonna go? This is what a stock where you had to use a very tight risk management. You don't want to. It can move so fast on you, go against you. So you're trying to minimize the downside at all times while letting the upside run as much as you can, you know. But it's also worth noting, look at the RSI, is pretty high. So the technicals aren't really going to matter that much too on a 15 million share stock, even if it's fully diluted with this type of volume, even if it's half that type of volume. So I'll be looking for that 132 load tomorrow.